Hello, everybody. This is Jonathan Motig with 1000 GM. I'm here with Grandmaster VAR AKOBIAN, taking a look at round 3 of the St. Louis GM Norm event. Take it away.
Hello everyone, and Grandmaster Akobian here. Let's take a look at this game played in round 3 of the GM section between MARDOV, very young, very strong player, and Jennifer Yu. She's the former US Women's Champion and a very, very strong player as well. So let's take a look. D4 is played, D5, C4, C6. So we have the Slav defense, okay? We have seen this opening before in this tournament. So knight F3 was played, knight F6, E3. Bishop F5, knight C3, E6. So it looks very nice for black, but there is one detail here. White has this tricky move, knight h4, putting pressure on the bishop. And the aim is to try to win the light score bishop here. That is what is really white aiming for here, to try to somehow snatch this light score bishop and claim a two bishop advantage. For example, if you go here, white can take or even just can play here, and eventually at some point after the take occurs, just a slightly better position for white because of the pair of the bishops. Okay, remember, bishops are worth a little bit more than the knights. Okay, so oftentimes when you have two bishops, you have a little bit more chances. So it's important to win opponent's bishop if they allow you to do that. So here black played bishop b4, and now f3 played, so forcing white to make a little bit of weakening move. Bishop g6, now queen b3, queen c7, bishop d2, bishop b7, knight takes g6, h takes g6. Now picking up the light square bishop, and now playing long castle. So since the structure is a little bit compromised, white is not going to castle to the king side. And here, if you're wondering, wait a minute, what about this h2 pawn? Black can take the pawn. No, if you do that, you're going to lose the game immediately, because now you lose your b7 pawn. And after I pick up b7, you're also going to lose your rook. Okay, so yeah, you may win a pawn, but you're going to lose a pawn and a rook after. So it's going to be really, really bad idea. So of course, black didn't do that. So play d takes c4, bishop c4, b5. It looks pretty normal. a6, and here knight e4 play by Mardov. Idea to trade the knights, and the point is to put a king on b1 and also put a rook on c1 here. So knight b7, king b1, rook c8, and h4. Since the pawn is constantly hanging, white wants to advance this pawn to make sure it's not going to be hanging in the future. Now, the best move in this position is c5 for black, because all these moves were played in preparation to play c5. So here there was no reason to hesitate. There was time to play c5. Now also some c4 ideas coming up. So most likely knight takes f6, knight takes f6, takes, bishop takes. We will get into a position like this where white will go g4, and a little bit better for white because you still have some good attacking ideas here. And if the king castles short, then there is h5 possibility too. A little bit better for white because of the two bishop and attacking prospects, but still this was the best way to play. Instead, black took, and now that's a strong center now for white. As you can see, white is controlling the entire center. All the four squares in the center now controlled by white. Now c5, h5. I like this approach here because now white is just continuing with his attack, and the black king is still stuck in the middle of the board. g5, e5. Nice restricting move. This controls the dark squares, takes away the knight square, and also bishop cannot go too many squares. So e5, c4 now. Opening up the position will be very risky. Like doing something like this will be super risky because now white can use the c file to attack and blast the position open. So that's too risky. But now queen c2 played. e4, e4. This is the key moment here. I think this was the time. This was the moment where black had to take a little bit of time and just to castle to ensure the safety of the king, and then try to continue with the attack. But instead, knight b6 was played, and now bishop b3, getting ready to prepare some d5, bishop g4. Here there was no reason to hesitate. It was time to play, time to push for it, because it seems like the e5 pawn is hanging, but if you take it, then the knight is hanging on b6. So that's why you cannot do that. And the main reason now after d5, you're also threatening the devastating move d6. So this will be very strong. So bishop g4, and here 97. Too hesitant to move knight d7. So the correct move here in this position to go for it is to try to generate some counterplay with c3. c3, probably b3 would have been played. White is still better, but at least now you have a strong pawn on c3. Knight d7 played, and now in this position, now it's pretty clear, Jonathan, what move white should do in this position. Everything is ready for this moment to play which move.
Well, I feel like I'm cheating because I can see the line. I do see the bishop going back to e2 to pile, but I'll try to understand why that's the best move.
Well, he played back bishop e2. It was just
Yeah.
a repetition because now he's attacking the pawn.
Yeah.
Correct. And now if you go back knight b6, surely there will be the time to play the move d5 and go for the winning advantage.
Yeah.
But black realized the problem, so played b3. Now takes. Queen d3, a5, and now queen comes to b5. Now black has problems with the light squares, and also king is stuck in the middle of the board. Queen a8.
And the knight will get pinned by the bishop if he takes.
And now, what about now? Why is it so significant to play the move d5, Jonathan? Why?
Well, you're going to have a complete break apart of the center, and the king stuck in the middle of the board. So the most important thing to do when the king's stuck in the middle is break the center. So even if you lose a pawn here, you'll have so much activity with like the open f file, open d file, c file. You'll be able to just throw all your pieces down the board at the king.
Absolutely, yeah. Opening up the position. Rook b8, yeah, and this is just it's already over now because the king is just never gonna find a safety. Take, bishop b5, pinning it. And the rest now, I really like this move because now the rook comes in from this side of the board.
That's some 4D chess ideas right there.
And now rook d8 coming up. Excellent win by white. Now rook d7 mate. So very strong play. I like how Mardov played. There were some chances, of course, for Jennifer Yu as well, but the king just got caught in the middle of the board. Just king got caught in the middle of the board, and there was a problem. Okay, so that's why always gotta make sure you get your safety of the king. Okay, your king safe. So make sure you get your rooks connected, because when the king gets stuck, sometimes you'll run into this kind of problems here. Hope you guys enjoyed this game, and we'll be back with more videos for you from the 1000 GM St. Louis event.